Hi, now let's take a look at question 18. For question 18, we have a balanced wooden rod with one end having magnet X and the other having a stretch spring. When magnet P was placed under X, we notice that X moved away from P. So this tells us that there must be a magnetic force of repulsion between the two magnets, causing it to move away from each other. So when magnet X and P moves away from each other, the wooden rod is then tilted towards the spring, causing the spring to be less stretched, and the final length of the spring is recorded as the distance. So the experiment was then repeated using other magnets Q, R, and S in replacement of P, and in each setup, the final distance is then recorded in the bar graph as shown. So what we're going to do, we're going to be analyzing what happens when P was used. When magnet P was used, we noticed that the distance was the shortest, or the length of the spring was the shortest. So what does it tell us about the spring? Was it the least stretch or the most stretch? It was the least stretch. So let's write it down. Over here, the spring was the least stretch. So, if the length of the spring was the shortest, did the wooden rod tilt the most or the least? The wooden rod must have tilted the most. As such, what can we conclude about the distance between X and P? If the wooden rod tilted the most, what we can say is that X and P must have had the greatest distance between them. So if X moved the furthest away from P, this means that there must be a greatest amount of magnetic force of repulsion. So in that case, since magnet X was used constantly throughout all four setups, who is exerting the greatest magnetic force of repulsion? It must be magnet P. This is why we can conclude that P has the greatest magnetic strength. In that case, let's take a look at the other end of the spectrum. We have magnet S over here, and when S was used, the length of the spring was the longest or the greatest. In that case, if the length of the spring was the longest, this means that it was the most stretched. If it was the most stretched, it means that the wooden rod tilted the least. If the wooden rod tilted the least, this means that magnet X and magnet S move the least away from each other. This shows us that when S was used, S exerted the least amount of magnetic force of repulsion. In that case, we can conclude that over here, S has the weakest magnetic strength. So, what can we conclude about the relationship between the distance and the magnetic strength of the magnet? We can say as the distance gets shorter, or the shorter the distance, the greater the magnetic strength of the magnet being used. So the question requires us to arrange the magnets from the greatest magnetic strength to the weakest magnetic strength. So I'm going to draw an arrow over here and we're going to arrange it together. So in this case, this end will show us the greatest magnetic strength, and this end will show us the weakest magnetic strength. So in this case, the magnet with the greatest magnetic strength is magnet P, followed by magnet R, followed by magnet Q, and finally magnet S. So the answer we're looking for is PRQS. Let's take a look at our options to match. Over here, option 4 matches the order that we have predicted, PRQS, thus the answer is option 4.
Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you found this video useful, do give us a thumbs up. If you want to check out the other videos we have made, do click on the links on the right hand side. Last but not least, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more interesting videos. I'll see you next time. Bye bye!